The Pittsburgh Steelers just sent shockwaves through the NFL. A surprising move out of Pittsburgh has everyone wondering if the team just took aim at Aaron Rodgers himself. This isn't just another roster headline, it's a move that could shift the balance of power, redefine the Steelers' future, and even impact Rodgers' legacy in ways no one saw coming. Rodgers, who signed a one-year, $13.65 million deal with the Steelers this past June, has been upfront about his future. In an appearance on The Pat McAfee Show, the future Hall of Famer said plainly, "I'm pretty sure this is it." After 20 seasons of playing at the highest level, Rodgers made it clear this could be his last ride. And while his arrival in Pittsburgh brought a wave of optimism and ticket sales, his short-term commitment has now forced the Steelers' front office into a very uncomfortable position. With the NFL trade deadline looming on November 4, rumors have begun swirling that Pittsburgh is eyeing other quarterback options. Most notably, reports have emerged linking the Steelers to Indianapolis Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson, a move that would send shockwaves across the league. Richardson, once viewed as the future of the Colts franchise, has fallen out of favor in Indianapolis after being replaced by veteran Daniel Jones. Despite his immense athletic upside, the 23-year-old quarterback has dealt with significant injury setbacks, including shoulder surgery in 2023 and a recent orbital fracture that landed him back on IR. Even so, his ceiling remains high, and his rookie contract, averaging $8.5 million per year, makes him a low-risk, high-reward target for a team willing to bet on potential. Pro Football Focus recently named Richardson one of the top 20 trade candidates before the deadline and explicitly linked him to the Steelers. The move would make sense on multiple levels. First, it would give Pittsburgh a young, moldable quarterback who can sit behind Rodgers for the remainder of the season. Second, it would allow head coach Mike Tomlin and his staff to begin the transition to a new era while still competing in the short term. But this isn't just about Richardson. It's about what this means for Aaron Rodgers and how the Steelers are approaching their future. Rodgers came to Pittsburgh for one last shot at glory. He spoke about the tradition of the franchise, his admiration for Tomlin, and the excitement of joining a team that expects you to win. But those expectations come with harsh realities. If the front office believes Rodgers is one and done, they can't afford to wait until he walks away before finding his replacement. They need to act now. From the Steelers' perspective, the writing is on the wall. Rodgers' public hint at retirement essentially gave them permission to start looking ahead. It's not a betrayal, it's business. The NFL doesn't pause for legacies. Still, the optics are complicated. Imagine telling one of the game's greatest quarterbacks who just joined your team that you're already scouting his successor. It's a fine line between planning for the future and undermining the present, but Pittsburgh appears to be walking that line with surgical precision. Anthony Richardson, despite his limited NFL reps, is an ideal candidate for a team in transition. His combination of size, mobility, and arm strength is rare. If he can stay healthy, and that's a big if, he has franchise quarterback written all over him. By acquiring him now, the Steelers wouldn't be pressing him into action immediately. Instead, they could follow a proven model. Let the rookie sit behind a legend, learn the game, and take over when the time is right. Rodgers, for his part, hasn't responded publicly to the trade rumors, but anyone who's followed his career knows he's never shy about voicing opinions when he feels slighted or underestimated. Whether he sees this as a threat or just part of the business remains to be seen. There's also the financial side of the equation. Rodgers' one-year deal gives the Steelers flexibility, but it also gives them uncertainty. If he decides to retire or if injuries force his hand, the team would be left scrambling. Meanwhile, Richardson's rookie contract runs through at least the 2026 season with a potential fifth-year option in 2027. From a roster-building standpoint, it's a no-brainer. Secure the future before the present disappears. For the Colts, moving Richardson would clear up their own quarterback situation. With Daniel Jones entrenched as the starter for now, Indianapolis could trade Richardson for valuable draft picks and avoid any internal tension over the pecking order. They'd also be freeing up future cap space and committing fully to Jones, for better or worse. Back in Pittsburgh, this potential move is already sparking debates among fans. Some believe bringing in a young QB is smart insurance. Others view it as a lack of faith in Rodgers. But the truth lies somewhere in between. This is about longevity, not loyalty. The Steelers are trying to navigate the rare and difficult terrain of transitioning from one quarterback era to another without bottoming out. And let's be honest, this isn't the first time Rodgers has been in this position. Back in Green Bay, he watched the Packers draft Jordan Love in the first round while he was still playing MVP-level football. The message then was clear: The future is coming, whether you like it or not. Now, the same message might be arriving in Pittsburgh. The timing is critical. The Steelers are currently in the thick of the AFC playoff race, but they've shown inconsistency on offense. Rodgers has had moments of brilliance but hasn't quite regained the magic of his prime. Whether that's due to scheme, personnel, or age is up for debate. What isn't up for debate is that this team can't afford to be caught flat-footed at the quarterback position. Trading for Richardson wouldn't just be about 2025. It would be about 2026, 2027, and beyond. It would be about setting up the next chapter before the current one closes. For Steelers fans, this is both exciting and nerve-wracking. The idea of grooming a young star behind a legend is appealing. But the thought of Rodgers leaving after just one season, potentially without a deep playoff run, leaves a bitter taste. After all, the fan base had barely started to embrace him. The jersey sales were hot, the buzz was real, and hope was alive. But the NFL is ruthless. Sentiment rarely gets a seat at the table. If Pittsburgh pulls the trigger on a trade for Richardson or any other young quarterback, it will be a defining move, not just for this season, but for the franchise's direction over the next half-decade. It would show that they're thinking long-term, that they're not willing to gamble everything on one more run from a 40-year-old quarterback with retirement on the horizon. And for Rodgers, it might be the final signal that his legendary career is entering its last chapter. Whether that chapter ends with a fairy tale finish in Pittsburgh or an early exit remains to be seen. To put things into context, Rodgers' time in Green Bay ended with whispers and tension. He left behind a franchise still navigating the aftermath of his departure. If history repeats itself, Pittsburgh could be next. But unlike Green Bay, the Steelers might just be taking a more proactive and perhaps more strategic approach. There's also the cultural dimension. The Steelers have always been seen as a team that values stability and long-term planning. From the coaching legacy of Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and now Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh isn't known for knee-jerk reactions. This potential trade, then, should be viewed not as panic but as preparation, an organization looking around the corner rather than reacting to what's directly in front of them. As the trade deadline approaches, keep your eyes on the Steelers. They're at a crossroads, and every decision from here on out will echo for years to come. Rodgers may have been the short-term answer, but the search for the long-term solution may already be underway. And if that search leads to a trade for Anthony Richardson, then the Steelers will have officially dropped the biggest bombshell of the 2025 season.